The gift card, an essential marketing tool of retailers today. The U.S. gift card market is growing more than 10% annually and is on pace to exceed $900 billion by 2030. It all started in 1994 when Neiman Marcus became the first retailer to sell gift cards. Blockbuster was the first to display gift cards in its stores, and in 2001, Starbucks introduced cards that worked more than once. That innovation has changed retailing forever. In this video, you'll hear from the leadership team of Taylor, one of the world's largest producers of gift and loyalty cards. Through these discussions, you will learn more about gift cards. Why are they the size they are? How are they made? How is sustainability changing the gift card market? And what is being done to combat fraud?
Historically, everything predicates back to a credit card.
I think it started with Neiman Marcus back in the mid-90s that started the gift card phenomenon, so to speak, and they actually were the first company to come out with one, and Blockbuster and some folks like that. And then we had early adopters in Minnesota like the Best Buys and the Targets of the world.
20 years ago we were dealing with clients on a direct basis. We'd deal with the Macy's or a Nordstrom or a Best Buy direct. And over the years, they've kind of gone to the aggregators, being the Fiservs and the SVSs of the world, where they're handling all the data and managing those things.
The reason gift cards are the size that they are today is 3 3/8 by 2 1/8. It's called a CR80. It's also an ISO 7810 card. It all came back to the standard for a credit card.
Everybody wanted a laminated plastic, something durable, sturdy, it's going to last forever, right?
When we make a plastic card, we have to print the plastic front and back. Then we have to collate it with lamination film, and then we have to laminate it under a compression process where there's chrome plates top and bottom, and heats for 20 minutes, cools for 20 minutes.
If you would rewind the clock maybe 5 years ago, I would have said that we're probably 90% plastic, 10% paper. Now we're probably flipped the other way, where 90% of what we're producing today is on paper and 10% of it is on plastic. It's just amazing what the market has done.
As gift cards became widely used by retailers, fresh thinking soon changed the industry. Retailers needed ways to stand out on the shelf. Clever die cuts, finishing techniques, packaging, and design helped them drive sales in a competitive marketplace. Retailers also reconsidered where gift cards were located. They weren't just hanging on pegs at checkout anymore. And retail companies started using gift cards differently. From loyalty to brand promotion, the gift card was seen as something more than an impulse buy and became a tool for retailers to use in different ways.
Target's a great example. They try to put their gift cards in places that people would frequent within the store. So if I'm going to the store and I always go to the grocery department to buy grapes or whatever, Target now puts gift cards on displays in the grape department. And they might have to be on a carrier where the card is affixed to like a backer and held there. So they do that. They try to target that. So the form factor changed from a card on a peg, like a restaurant, to a card on a backer that now can be displayed in the grocery department or the food department or wherever you would be.
Olive Garden Pasta Pass. We made a metal card for some of their premier customers, and they want to make it a certain thickness and it needed a mag stripe, and so then we would make it work. And then somebody else saw that metal card and we would make one out of brass for Cabela's, or we would make one out of aluminum for McDonald's. And so over the years we've done a number of different metal cards.
We were really known as the partner in the industry to really develop those odd things that help our customers' brands stand out on the shelves.
Take a look at Starbucks. They treat the card as it's a transactional device. They treat that card as like it's a miniature billboard advertisement. They treat that gift card as a loyalty incentive. Hey, I don't go to the other coffee locations because I'm a Starbucks person. So there's so much more behind the scenes as to what that little tiny piece of paper or plastic does for those brands and merchants.
In this section, we will review the production process of gift cards, including substrate options and printing techniques, punching of the finished card, imprinting of personalized information, and packaging options.
We can run PVC, styrene, synthetics, papers from 8 mil all the way up to 48 mil.
Our sheets, depending on the type of product we're printing, is 132 up, 121 up, depending on the form factor.
As it goes through the press, we can apply a coating, whether it's an aqueous coating or UV coating, to to clear coat the sheet, protect the image that we're printing on the sheet.
We're evolving as an organization, say, yep, digital printing is there. Travel tags, we have digital printing, we can do that, some limitations. But now we're starting to see either gang runs, using our efficiencies of putting multiple cards on a form and so on and so forth. But we're also seeing presses within the Taylor organization that are starting to be more aggressive towards a smaller sheet, faster to print, taking all the manual aspects out of it. And now we're starting to get some of the quality we used to have in a faster, quicker speed to market.
We start out with the big 28 by 40 sheet of paper with 132 cards up, and then we're taking them to a punch press that is punching these things tens of thousands an hour down to an individual card, and then on to the personalization step that we talked about in the packaging step.
In the punch press, we put in automation so that one operator can run it and finished parts go into carts. The carts get fed into imaging lines. Robotics pick up cards and feed the imaging lines. So we've made investments to minimize that labor. So every one of our imaging lines has what we call a duplication detection system. Every card that gets packaged needs to go through that system. It gets read, and we check against the database so only one number can exit this facility.
When we talk about imaging, we're talking about the personalization that's applied to the card.
We run a card, be it paper or plastic or metal, underneath an imaging head. We use high resolution, it's basically an inkjet head that drops UV ink down, and LED UV light cures it, and then we check the adhesion and apply a scratch off label over the top. We have other lines that have imaging and packaging combined. So we're able to image a card, two sides if necessary, label two sides if necessary, affix it, use either cold glue or hot melt glue or a combination of the both, fold and glue, and be able to image data on the outside of that pack, batch drop it in 10s, 15s, whatever you want, shrink wrap it, and right into a package box out the other end. We have two lines like that. That was a $4.8 million investment. So it put raw materials in one end, finished products out the other.
Some of these are open face, some of them are secure pack where the card is 100% sealed within that carrier. And that is for security reasons, to prevent fraud, prevent tampering. It makes it pretty evident that somebody got into that pack.
We've done a couple things for Amazon where the peel off of the back is actually a small little tri-folded greeting card. So we start to give them some of those ideas that not only can you just have the gift card with all kinds of enhanced features in the store, you can also use that gift card package, that hanger carrier concept, to do some various different things.
In this segment, we explore the shift to more sustainable materials and production techniques, the challenges that accompany that move, and the changing techniques related to gift card packaging and security.
The transition in the environmental sustainability side is basically going from some polymer-based product on the gift card, so on. Has been some limitations there because the point of sale systems, how they actually activate the gift cards, has been the holdup, really. It's really not that no one wants it, it's just that it's thousands and thousands of dollars of transition over these companies to go away from a plastic mag stripe card, and some of it's convincing. It's a matter of, yes, that paper card lasts. It lasts longer than you think. Now, again, there's some magic behind the paper gift card that's not just standard paper, right or wrong. That it's more sustainable, but it's also more durable, if you would, in the purse or the wallet or in the consumer side of things. But the transition is to paper. Paper is the natural one. It's a renewable resource. The FSC type approach to this, where it comes from, through all those particular pieces, it's really landed on paper. I mean, there are even some merchants that say, hey, I need the durability of plastic. Can you give me RPVC still? Recycled PVC from whatever was made out there.
When we do scratch-offs are typically polypropylene or polyester layered films with scratch-off material on them. Today we're working with cellulose acetate made from trees. We're working with a translucent paper to make a scratch-off work.
We have to understand first, obviously, what goals they have in mind, whether, from a sustainability standpoint, whether it be recycled papers or no plastic or whatever the direction may be, so that we can start guiding them down and into products that fit their needs. But then that also dictates what limitations we may have from a converting standpoint, from a print standpoint, from an adhesive standpoint. There's a lot of things that go into making these products. And then we just walk down the path with them and set an expectation of where things are.
Travel Tags does paper cards really well. And we have a lot of our customers, a lot of our core customers that have been with us a long time that started out in plastic that are now tried and true in the paper space. And, not only, paper with barcodes, but also paper with mag stripe, which is a little bit more challenging to do, putting a mag stripe on a paper card versus just imaging a barcode on there.
What is the life cycle? So we know we get that from a forest. FSC, we track, point of possession with it. We put soy inks on it so it's sustainable. We send it out to the merchant has it, sells it to Joe customer. How does it get back into the system again? So that's their biggest, it's the broken chain as to how it gets back into the system that has been kind of the challenge that most people continue to come up with.
As more and more customers push to be more and more sustainable, it drives innovation on how do we make products recyclable, recycled content, and greener.
We have a customer by the name of Whole Foods that sends us in the products that we sell for them. So each store collects them into a box, and they're paper gift cards. They send them back to us to our location. We put it through our recycling systems within our own facilities. So we do that, but Whole Foods has figured out how to do that. The other merchants, there's still some broken ends of the chain there.
We also talked to Taylor about gift card fraud and how it's changing the market. Taylor's operational experts describe the techniques being used to combat fraud, as well as the processes in place to maintain data security.
Fraud is kind of the hot topic of the day, making sure the consumers are protected and there aren't issues with their cards, they're not being cheated out of their dollars.
The main package that gift cards use is a encapsulated package of the gift card on the inside. Ideally, that package is for branding. It is ideal for just display and what we call brand blocking. So when you're on these displays where you're competing with all these different brands, you want your package to stand out, right? That was kind of the main impetus to that particular design years ago. Well, what has happened is our thieves and fraudsters and our industry like to take people's stuff, right? So what's happened is not only is this package now a brand communication piece, now we really have to secure the card inside of it. It's been pretty relevant in what we call the open loop market, which is the Visa style gift cards that you see on all the malls, the Walgreenses and things like that that are out there. But now the closed loop, which is brand specific. So if it's a Home Depot, a Starbucks, or whatever happens to be. So you're looking at those particular customers saying, hey, let's tighten that thing up.
That's been our biggest focus, is what can we do differently in the marketplace to help our customers reduce that. I mean, we're never going to eliminate it completely because the fraudsters are always trying to stay a step ahead of everybody, but we can slow them down. And that's what we're focusing most of our time and efforts now in terms of ingenuity and development on what we can do differently there.
We don't want hot melt glues, we want cold glues so that you can't use heat to open up the packages. We want to be able to conceal activation codes instead of just having them exposed where someone can photocopy them and then paste another code on. We've hidden them behind what we call secure pull tabs. The other thing is when we do the cold glue, we've put in what we call security glue assists so that the glue penetrates and there's tamper evidence if someone tried to enter the pack or tried to get to the code. And rather than just having a card on the shelf with the barcode exposed, the market's moving towards a new normal of having everything packaged in some form of security. Now there's really good security, but that has plastic and other things. So we have to balance it between cost, sustainability, and fraud. And the industry and us are kind of walking a path to get to the optimal, but it's ever changing because you come up with something that works really well. Fraudsters then get a chance to play with it and find maybe a workaround. And then we have to continually innovate in those areas.
Security is extremely important to us. We pride ourselves in all the stop gaps that we have in place. We have very tight controls We have very minimal access. We have very restricted access to certain departments. Even amongst operations, data prep, and different departments, we have very restricted access within our business on top of the external access into our business.
We only allow data to come in via a secure FTP site. We have a technology here we've implemented a number of years ago called Project Moat. It's to eliminate any external penetration to our data systems, because the worst thing that can happen is a data breach. And so we have a number of protocols that ensure that when we get the data, only certain people can access it. It has to be password protected, and again, only certain groups can manipulate it. And then when it goes to the production floor, we've banned all jump drives in this building so that we won't have a data breach and won't have a leak.
Thank you for joining us on this closer look at gift cards and packaging. If you have any questions about Taylor's gift card capabilities, including production quantities, printing or finishing options, sustainability efforts, fraud prevention, or POS system integration, please visit us at taylor.com.